You're listening to Linux News Log, separating the Linux and open source signal from the noise.
Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm your host Adrian, coming to you almost live from lovely Petaluma, California, here in Studio MC2 at QuickSurf Internet Studios. Linux News Log is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. Do feel free to head on over to techpodcast.com and check out all the other technology-related shows over there. Before we get into the stories for this episode, I'd like to encourage everybody to please like this video if you're watching it on YouTube. Also subscribe to the video, or maybe it's on the side, I always forget. And if you would prefer to use a podcatcher of your choice, everything we've talked about is linked up in the show notes at quicksurf.com. And you can go there and subscribe to the show to download it in a variety of formats using your podcatcher of choice. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the stories for this episode. From Mucktware over at mucktware.com, there's a story here. Samsung creates a new file system for It's called F2FS. It's for Linux. And this is good news for Android because it's primarily for flash-based storage. And, you'll see it pop up a lot basically in Android, in future versions of Android. It's targeted at NAND flash memory-based devices, SSDs, eMMC, SD cards. Check it out when it actually starts to become a little more widespread, and we'll see how it catches on. I'll be monitoring this to see how well it catches on. On the Raspberry Pi front, Adafruit has released their Web IDE Alpha. It kind of eases beginners into coding. You can check the story out over at Engadget. As always, like I said, everything's linked up in our show notes over at quicksurf.com. From Ars Technica, in their technology lab, the next Linux kernel, which is 3.7, 3.7, is going to support more ARM processors. This is kind of a response to other Linux type platforms coming out that run a lot on ARM, i.e., Raspberry Pi is one, BeagleBoard, that sort of thing. There's several hardware platforms that are ARM based that want to run Linux primarily. So there's a new coding effort being folded into the next version of the Linux kernel, which will make it easier to support ARM processors, which is kind of cool. Definitely something, it's a worthwhile endeavor. Over at BusinessWire, there's a press release. Previs is joining the Freescale Partner Program. What this is allowing is Previs to bring Freescale's IMX processors into their OE Lite Linux technology, which is really big when you start to get into industrial applications, medical applications, science-type applications, stuff where you need sensors, that sort of thing. So definitely this is pretty good stuff. From ZDNet, there's a story here. Jola, I don't know how to pronounce it, is going to reveal its MeeGo operating system, Sailfish, and SDK this November. This is pretty cool. So basically, MeeGo, as we all know, was kind of an Intel-Nokia partnership type thing that kind of went by the wayside. Now Jola, it's a startup company, a Finnish startup company. They've picked up the MeeGo platform, abandoned by Nokia, and they're going to launch it this next month. So I'll be keeping an eye out for that, and we'll be definitely reporting on it. From Computer World, there has been a Linux certificate program launch here in North America. The Linux Essentials program from the Linux Professional Institute was gearing up for a launch, and now it is there. This is primarily for IT professionals that need Linux skills. Definitely if you are an IT professional and your job requires you to do some sort of Linux stuff, or you're looking to get into that market segment, this is definitely something to check out. The Linux Foundation has kicked off an individual membership drive. This is what this is looking to do is Anybody who's an individual member of the Linux Foundation will receive a 50% discount off of LinuxCon and the Embedded Linux Conference Europe 2012, taking place November 5th through 7th. That's a $225 value, which pays for the $99 individual membership 2 times over. So this is definitely, there are benefits to being an individual member, but this is also a great way to also save some money if you're looking to go to those 2 conventions. In the future, I would expect that this would also allow for discounts in future conventions as well. That will do it for this episode of Linux News Log. Everything we've talked about is linked up in our show notes over at quicksurf.com. As always, please do like the video. It means a whole lot if you like it. Subscribe to the video if you have not already done so. For those of you that are listening to the MP3 or the OGG Vorbis, thank you so much for subscribing. Or if you're watching the video via the video RSS feed, thank you so much there as well. Stay subscribed if you want. If you're not subscribed and you want to be, it's real easy. Just go to the website. All the links are there. And with that, I will see all of you on the next episode. I'll see you then. Bye.